G'day and welcome to the Fair Dunkem podcast, an NBA podcast by Aussies for Aussies. My name is Jay Lewis, and today is a sad, mournful day for NBA content creators worldwide, as the greatest summer-long piece of content that somehow managed to continually create interesting new storylines has finally come to a conclusion, with James Harden officially being traded to the LA Clippers from the Philadelphia 76ers. But that won't stop me from squeezing one more episode out of it. And to do so, I'm joined today by my good mate, who is the first ever guest on this show. He's now the first ever returning guest. He's a LA Clippers diehard and owner of what might turn into the most expensive and most embarrassing piece of memorabilia a Clippers fan could ever own in their lifetime. I'll get him to discuss that in a moment. Please welcome my very good mate, Flynn Mount. Flynn, how are you doing today?
Not too bad yourself. Thanks for having me as well.
Oh, mate, always good to have you. Always good to chat. Initially, we're going to record on Friday. So today is Sunday. For those who, a bit of context, it's Sunday afternoon, Melbourne time. The day's games had just finished. We had, I think, Suns Nuggets was the last game to be played. Was it Suns Nuggets that was going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Suns Philly was today, and Bulls Nuggets was the last game. So I've got the games here. So we had games like Lakers Magic. That was tragic. The second one, we had Celtics beat the Nets, Nuggets beat the Bulls, have just happened today. But no, we're going to film on Friday initially, and it was the day after the Lakers played the Clippers. And I think maybe it was best for all of us that we didn't discuss basketball the day after the Lakers beat the Clippers. But we're here today to finally discuss the Harden trade. I discussed the memorabilia. Let's jump on that super quick, then we'll get into the Harden trade. Would you like to tell people who didn't listen to the first episode about the jersey? Is it the jersey that's hanging behind you at the moment?
Yeah, the one right behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much just like I want to say 2019, like their city jersey, and it's like all the players signed on it.
Yeah,
that's so cool. One player in particular that didn't really mean to me at the time was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and now I have his signature.
On a Clippers jersey.
Yeah, Is
it like, it's almost painful to hold on to. It's like, it's the memory of what could have been when you look at that jersey. That is going to go down. That could be like a future MVP signature you have on your jersey right now. That's
right now I'm just banking on he hasn't won an MVP yet. So like,
it's not too bad yet.
Yeah.
To be honest, that is a sick jersey. I've been doing a couple on our TikTok reacting to some of the recent city jerseys. Have you seen them? The ones that are coming out this year?
I don't understand it. They seem to get like worse and worse every year. Like my opinion, at least. Like
definitely.
And it's either like they try something new that just doesn't look right, or they just bank on like a old school jersey that just like it's just unoriginal. Like
the city jerseys used to be like my favorite things in the world. I think I'm going to do a TikTok this afternoon discussing this. Will probably be out before this episode is, because they take a lot less time to edit than a full podcast. But it was, they had, like, you look at the Miami Heat, what they used to do with those like Heat.
Yeah, with the Vice City.
Miami Vice jerseys. They were fantastic. I've got one in my cupboard. Who was it? I think I got a Dwayne Wade one, like an old school Dwayne Wade.
I got a pink Dwayne Wade, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's Jimmy Buckets. I can't remember who I have. It's one of the two. I got the black one, I think. But those jerseys are so cool. And then they decided, actually, no, what we're going to do is we're going to do like the most boring ass jersey that just says Heat culture over the front of it on this like charcoal jersey. Like, they've massacred them. They've massacred something that was so beautiful. I don't know how they did that. The Lakers ones look a bit better now. I did not like them at all. Just like,
what is it? It's just like black and it's like a triangle.
It's on
like
a triangle, yeah. So it's like the names. It's so weird. It's like a triangle name, but apparently it's like our first logo. It's matching like an old logo out, which is kind of cool. So it's a bit of a throwback. It looks a lot better on the person than it did in just the photo. When it's actually on the person, the black looks a lot better like on the players than it did when it was just like against the white background in the press release. But
I don't know why the Clippers are wearing a Wizards jersey though. I don't know what's happening there. But like, it literally is the Wizards colors and the same like font from like when they had navy blue.
I'm looking at the LA Clippers one. I need to remind myself.
It's like navy blue and gold. Like how the Wizards used to wear
Oh my gosh, it totally is that Wizards. It's that old like navy one with like from like the John Wall era. Yeah, it is. That's that's not great. It does look like
it's a good jersey, but
not for them. That's like the San Antonio one. I've got it on my phone here somewhere because from when I did a video on it. This one, I love the jersey. It's just not it's not San Antonio.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a city jersey.
They haven't really had any. They had like one jersey they've done for like every year, but just change it a little bit. It's like the pink with the tropical like riding or whatever it is. Like
they had that like the Fiesta one or whatever they called it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, when I looked at this, I love the font on the San Antonio. That's a really cool font. But
yeah, that's cool.
I couldn't help but think, like, it looks like one of those ones where, like, on an Instagram post, and like, oh, if the Cleveland Browns made an NBA team, or like that's all it looks like right now. It's like, oh, the GWS Giants created an NBA team. Here's the San Antonio Giants, and like, it doesn't work for San Antonio. I can't see Wemby in it. We're going to need to chat about Wemby's game at the end as well.
Yeah.
But no, they've massacred them. The Wizards have gone into like become Robin Hood as well. Where's their one? Theirs is bad.
Who is that then? The Robin
Wizards.
Hood one?
The font on it. Where is it? I've got it here somewhere.
What color is it? I can't even think of it right now.
I think it's like a white jersey, but the font... Oh, no, sorry. It's a dark jersey, but you can see the font on it. It's like...
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
There we are. Like, the font looks like so, like, Robin Hoodie.
Yeah.
It's sort of cool, but, like, I don't know why
it was very similar like the last... what you call it? The Wizard... Not the Wizard, I mean, the Grizzlies jerseys last year.
Yeah, they do look a bit like those.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to get into the most important piece of content that we're going to have to cover for the next about 6 months.
Yeah.
And that is James Harden, an MVP, a multi-time All-Star, multi-time All-NBA player, has been traded for the third time? Third time in like 2.5 years.
Is it 3 seasons, I reckon?
3 seasons. He's been traded on 4 different teams now. He started at Houston and then said, no, this culture's not for me. I'm going to go to the Brooklyn Nets and that's where we're going to win together. Then said, no, actually, this culture's not for me, but know where I need to get? It's Philly. Philly's where it's going to work out. And actually, Philly wasn't the one, but I'm sure the Clippers, there's not going to be any issues whatsoever. There's never going to be a trade request because he's determined to win. He's dedicated to winning. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So that's what that ding was. But we'll go over the details of the trade. So James Harden officially makes his way to the LA Clippers. It's been rumored for about 3 months now. He's requested a trade back in July, I reckon. So it's been even over 3 months. I can't do maths in my head. It's too early in the day. It's like 3:30 p.m. It's too early for me to do that sort of maths. He makes his way there with his good mate PJ Tucker, and Philip Petrusov goes to the Clippers. Sure. Sixers.
I think he got waived already.
I think he probably did. The Clippers gave up a lot of players, but no one of particular value. They lost Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, maybe Kenyon Martin. The details of this trade are really tough to come across because at one point Kenyon Martin was going and now he's not. Then maybe he's going to Thunder and now he's not. The Thunder also got involved with a pick swap somewhere. So one of the Clippers picks is going to Thunder. I don't know how that's all worked. I did a lot of research last night and I could not come up with a conclusive answer. Basically, they got, I believe it's 2 first-round picks, one from the Sixers, one from the Thunder. Or not from the Thunder, but one that the Thunder owned. One of the 1,010 picks that the Thunder own in their over the next 4 drafts. A pick swap and 2 second-round picks. I believe that's what the Clippers gave up in the end. So maybe another pick went to Thunder. I don't know how it all worked. So let's just start with your overall thoughts on getting James Harden. Are you happy with getting him? Because when we last chatted, you were anti the idea. You've now had about 4 days to come to terms with it. How are you feeling now?
I don't know if it's like I'm like kind of convincing myself that it will work, or it's just like I'm actually convincing myself that it is going to work. Like I know I'm trying to like build it up a bit in my head so I won't feel so bad, but like I don't know. The main thing was it 2 days ago when like the press conference, I'm not a system player. I am a system. It sounds bad. I actually watched like not the whole press conference, but like a bit before, like when he said that. It was completely taken out of context.
It's taken out of context.
Yeah, not like it completely though, but like I think he was talking about how he's like in Philly, he wasn't used properly. But yeah, I feel like he wants to be like a more of a valuable player more than just like a system.
Yeah, he does want to fit into the team. I think he does have a desire to fit into the team. I think there is a bit of respect. There's respect there for Kawhi and PG, which is important because if there's not, that's going to go really badly really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think because I initially thought, okay, when the Lakers got Westbrook, there's a lot of similarities to when the Lakers went out and got Westbrook. The
Yeah,
difference is I think Harden is still a much better player than Westbrook was when he came to the Lakers. I think
yeah,
Harden, he can fit around other players better than Westbrook ever could in that season because, well,
yeah,
he can actually shoot the basketball, which is the big difference with with Westbrook.
yeah.
So are you overall, you're more in favor of the idea now that it's happened? How are you feeling?
I am, yeah. Just for the like, if you just look at it, like pretty simply, like it's just four players that are really good at basketball playing on the same team. If you hear it like that, it's like as if they won't win a championship. You know what I mean? But like
That's it.
All it is just egos. That's the only thing that's like stopping it from
There's egos
succeeding.
and personalities and play styles where it's like they can all play well together. Like the types of players they are can fit.
Yeah,
The question is, will they let themselves not have the ball in their hands for long enough to make it fit?
yeah,
Particularly Harden will be a question with that.
yeah,
My first thought when I saw it was, I think it is good value. Like, love Harden or hate him, you're getting an all-star player. Like, even if we're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's no longer MVP.
or even all NBA player. I'm pretty
He's
sure
like,
he was all
he made all
last year,
NBA.
wasn't
I think he made,
Yeah.
if not, he got votes. Let me just
Yeah.
check.
I think he was third team. I'm pretty sure.
I think he made third team last year. I'm just looking it up now. But I think, I don't know whether it was just he got votes and came like the first man off or whether he was
'cause
actually.
he was like a top 10 MVP candidate for like the whole season.
He
pretty
was.
much, like.
He's 7 times All NBA, and I can't see what years they were All NBA teams. 23. I'm just looking them up now to see.
Yeah.
But I think he was All NBA third team comes up pretty early, so I'm gonna guess maybe he did make it.
I mean, a top 10 MVP candidate, he should be all NBA, right? Like,
Yeah, I think so.
even if he isn't, that's still like,
I think Fox snubbed him. Fox and Lillard maybe snubbed him, but he was right there. If he didn't make it, he was probably the first guy off the team, sort of thing. Yeah, I think the guards last year were Luka and Shea in first team, Jaylen Brown and Steph Curry and Donovan Mitchell in second team, and then De'Aaron Fox and Damian Lillard in third team.
Was there no Ja Morant?
Nah, he didn't end up making it. I don't think.
Crazy.
I think they gave it to De'Aaron Fox and Damian Lillard over. I think Harden does. Either way, he deserved to be All NBA.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get that, you're still getting a player who's probably going to be an All-Star caliber player for fringe rotation pieces. Not even 4 rotation pieces. 4 guys that were like in and out of your rotation.
Like a couple of role players and then a couple of 12-year-olds.
And a couple 12-year-olds sort of thing. That's it. It's like the value is there. And if it was any other team, I would say, you know what? Love Harden, hate him. The fit's not perfect. You make it work when you find good. I'm of the opinion when building a team, if you find good value, you take the value and then you work things out later. Because if the value is there, you can probably figure your way out. Even if it means you trade him in a year's time, you probably trade him for a bit more than you gave up. So like you just build up value. I think that's a good way of working. My issue is with the Clippers, it's not just a move of good value. It's sort of the final move that they're going to get to make with their picks. Like, it's the last 2 picks. It's the last collection of contracts you really have. And I don't know whether I love it as the final move that you really have in the bank.
Yeah.
When you think of it like that, how do you feel as a Clippers fan?
Well, I feel like we've been not half-assing it, but like, obviously the past like 4 years, it's been like, can the Clippers win like the trade, the whole future for PG and Kawhi? Like, I feel like it's the right move to just put all their chips on the table, whatever, like, and just try to win, go all out and just try to win this season. But like, also at the same time, actually, no, I think I like it because I'm not too opposed to a rebuild. Like, and I feel like that kind of speeds it up to figure out if we are going to win or not. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true. It's sort of like
if we don't win this year or next year, it's like, yeah, we're done.
It's
Instead
basically
of just like messing around.
Yeah, you're not gonna, because the big thing is that Kawhi and PG are sort of out of contract at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have the whole, you get to the end of the year, got knocked out in the second round. Oh, maybe we can do something more. So we'll sign them for 3 more years, whatever, to stay in this purgatory. You've sort of said, we're either going to blow it. It's either going to work now or we're going to blow it up and it's never going to work. And I think you've sort of set the ball rolling a bit with that. And I think that is a good thing. Do you think, are you more or less confident in this team's ability to win a title this year after the Harden trade?
I think I have a thing where I feel like big trades or like big threes or whatever, like super teams, they never win in the first year, apart from like exceptions like LeBron and like AD and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I don't expect them to win it all this year. But I have a better feeling about next year. Like,
Yeah, okay.
I actually have a good feeling about in-season tournament. That seems like it's a very Clippers thing to win like a useless trophy that no one cares about. Like,
No, but I
and
think
just
it would
do
show
nothing.
that you guys can win and you can
Yeah.
put your minds together. And I think the big thing to me is like, I love I do like the trade. I'm coming on to terms with it.
Yeah,
The issue for me is like going back to that quote, I'm not a system player, I'm a system. That was taken out of context.
yeah,
But there is still bits of it where I'm like, he
Yeah, he
really
is a bit
wants
like-
he
yeah.
wants to be the centerpiece of the offense, you know, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. He's an MVP. He's one of the best offensive players of this decade. But my issue is not actually that he can't be that, because it's sort of like, okay, Harden doesn't want to go somewhere where he's working around other guys. He wants to be the centerpiece of what you do and have other guys work around him.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening in Brooklyn with KD, and that wasn't happening in Philly with Embiid.
yeah,
Clippers has actually a good opportunity for that because Kawhi and PG can work off of someone else pretty well. Like in the Lakers
Yeah.
Clippers game, even though like you guys end up losing, you see what PG can do just off like 2 dribbles, what Kawhi can do with 2 dribbles. Like
yeah,
having a point guard who actually says, I'm running the offense, I'll tell you when you're going to get the ball, I'll tell you when you're not going to get the ball, I'm going to make decisions. That might not be the worst thing for the Clippers. They've sort of needed that for a long time, is someone who can say, let's settle down, let me decide
Yeah.
the plays, let me run the plays. My issue is that like I would like this trade a whole lot more if it happened in August. And you had the whole
Yeah,
off season to work
with him.
with Ty Lue, to work with the system, to work with
Because the
Kawhi and
main thing
PG.
is like the hierarchy of like whose
Whose team is it on
yeah,
offense?
and even like who gets to say. Obviously, Ty Lue's the coach. He gets to say like.
Kawhi,
But like
Tyler
also,
does not
when
get
I
to
put up the
say.
clipboard, like I think James Harden was saying in the press conference, like, "Oh, Doc Rivers just wasn't letting me like call plays or whatever." But like,
Are
I
you
feel like
gonna
when you have Kawhi and PG, they also want to do that. But like,
Yeah, they're going to want to do that as well. And
yeah,
like you don't have any chemistry with this coach. It's not like that's why if you're done in August, you get to build that chemistry to where he can say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I want to run these plays," because he's a good offensive player. He's a smart basketballer.
yeah,
But I don't think it works bringing you in like 5 games into the season and then saying, "Hey,
yeah,
Harden's not a player that you mold into your system as you go." As he said, you need to reinvent your system around him, and you can't do that in the season.
Yeah.
That's my concern. I do agree. I think next year it could work better. My issue is just with so many big personalities. If it doesn't work this year, if they can just stay put for a season, you almost would have been better doing the trade next off season. Because
yeah.
like I feel like if a season goes badly, players could get a bit grumpy, whatever, and it's like that's my concern.
Especially James Harden, if he doesn't win, I don't know. He tends to spit the like dummy like
pretty
quite a bit.
quick.
Like,
Him, PG, and Kawhi are all out of contract at the end of the year as well, which is another
Yeah.
thing where it's like, if it goes badly because there isn't time to work it out, are all 3 of them going to say, "You know what, we trusted enough that we're coming back"? Or because if you lose one of them,
yeah,
I think the
feel like-
chances
yeah.
are really gone. You really need to get all 3 back, and are you going to be able to get all 3 back at the end of the year?
Yeah,
if
it
you
won't be
can't
all
win it
3.
this
I
year?
reckon definitely PG will stay. I think he said like he wants to be a Clipper for life or whatever, Clipper until the end of his career. But it's Kawhi and James Harden because they have the biggest egos out of like maybe
Out-
anyone in the league, I reckon. But
And I think there's a bit of like, I'm like, I think they stay, but the other question I have is obviously like, well, the other thing I posed this scenario at you in the first podcast where I said you get Harden a few games into the year. That
Yeah.
happened. I said you give up all the players and the picks, but you don't give up Terrence Mann. That happened.
yeah,
And I said things go fairly well. This is the theoretical part I threw in. Like things just go well. They don't go like extraordinary, but they go fine. You're like
Yeah.
26-19 come the trade deadline. You're like 3rd in the West. You've had a couple injuries, but nothing crazy. Everyone's pretty healthy. Everyone's pretty good. Egos are pretty stable comparatively. But then I'm like, come the trade deadline, like a Zach LaVine becomes available, or a DeMar DeRozan, or a Pascal Siakam, or Brandon Ingram. If one of those kind of becomes available, would you rather have had one of them than have made this trade for James Harden? Because it would have had to be the same picks and salary you threw in.
I say no. Like what I said before, it's like I like the James Harden trade just because it's like we're actually fully committing. I feel like getting Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan isn't fully committing.
It's sort of still saying a bit
they're
like,
great players, but they're not championship.
Harden is
level.
like, the upside is title. The upside isn't just we're better. The upside with Harden
and that's
is
the only reason we're doing the trade. Like,
it sort of shows that you are all in on a championship, because you're not just going to be, you're either going to be really bad or really, really, really good with Harden.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to go one way or another, and I can't guarantee which way that is.
I will say this though, I feel like James Harden's off ball is very underrated.
Yeah.
In theory, he should be good, because like when he shoots, if you ever see him shoot, like he does a step back, he rolls the ball in his hand and he stays still in like a set shot. Surely he should be a great catch and shoot player. Like,
I think if he can buy into it, he's a great catch and shoot. He's a great playmaker as well. That's the underrated part as well. He's one of the best passers in the league. He led the league in assists last year. If he can lean into that and lean into the shooting and not take 25 dribbles a game, I think he'll actually work really well with the Clippers. What about the starting lineup? What are your thoughts there?
That's the weird thing. I don't understand how you get PJ Tucker and he's not starting on your basketball team. Like, I don't get that. But
he's the ultimate starter who just sits. He's like a perfect player.
Yeah, but I feel like in like this day's NBA, it's not point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. It's like accumulation of basketball players just trying to like be a good fit. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it'll be the big four and Zoo.
Do you reckon Westbrook continues to start, or do you think
he has to? Yeah,
he's been good as a starter, but there's only one basketball is my concern. I feel like he
is past that by now. I mean, you're a bit scarred, but like
I'm scarred by Westbrook, what he did for the Lakers. I think he's a better player for the Clippers. I think he has dialed it down a bit, but I do stop and wonder whether I'm like, I do think the best thing for the Clippers would be to have Westbrook stay on the bench where he can be a bit of a general for that second unit, have the ball in his hands, and start like a PJ Tucker or start a Terrence Mann who can shoot, who can, play defense.
Like, that's the ideal, but like our bench is so small. We have PJ Tucker, who's not a big man, even though he's a big man, but like he's 6'5". And then we have Mason Plumlee.
Shortest big man in the league.
Mason Plumlee and PJ Tucker are our bigs. And then they're all just point guards.
It's it's Bones Highland and it's Terrence Mann and it's
Norman. Yeah.
Norm Powell. He's going to be good for that team as well. He's going to be very handy. I think I did see someone say that they do like having PJ Tucker as a small ball center as well, because they're like, that was something that you guys tried to go to a bit last year. Yeah. And suddenly you have someone who's got a lot of experience. Like closing games, you could close with like Harden, Norman Powell, Kawhi, PJ Tucker. And that would actually be a really good closing five in like close games, unless you're playing like a Jokic.
I mean, I was actually kind of opposed to that, but after like the Lakers game the other day, like PJ Tucker, they had that lineup, not with James Harden, but they had the lineup with like him at that small board center. Yeah. He was getting like tons of offensive rebounds, like saving us. Like,
he knows what he does. He's good at what he does. He plays upper size. I think he's going to be good. Where do you have them finishing now? The Clippers. What is your
seed
goal for the seed? Obviously, your goal's a title, but what is your like? If you had to bet on it today, what seed do they end, and where do they finish in the playoff? What's their? Do they get knocked out in the conference finals? Do they make it to the finals? If you had to pick today,
I say we'll be a 6th seed.
Okay.
Be low back. Yeah. The only reason we'll be low is there's so many like good teams in the West, but like. I feel like in terms of the playoffs, I reckon we can get to the conference finals, but I don't see us going to the finals. No way. But
do you
conference finals is our peak, I reckon.
Do you reckon you can beat Denver in a 7-game series?
Oh, no.
Can you beat the Lakers? Be honest. I would say you can. After what I saw of you guys the other day.
I said we can, but we will not, because it's LeBron James and he's 21st season. He's not allowing the Clippers to beat him. It's just not happening.
Health is still such a big question for me. I think you can win you could win the title if everyone's playing well. You can win. It's just like I just need to see everyone healthy and everyone playing, not just like playing, but playing at 100%. Like I just haven't seen that yet in the playoffs. And if I can, I'll believe it.
Yeah.
If you were to pick today, you'd say 6th seed and Western Conference exit.
Yeah.
I think I would say similar 6th seed, just because I think again health. You're not going.
Yeah.
I know there's all the participation policy and all that. They're not going to play everyone every game. They're going to rest guys. They're not going to play back-to-backs for the rest of the year. I think it's like a 5 or a 6 seed, just because there's other teams that'll take the regular season more seriously.
Yeah.
And probably either a really close semifinals loss to like a Lakers or a Suns, or probably losing like 5 to Denver. But that's what every team in the West is. It's like, oh, do you lose in the semis or do you get the privilege of losing to Denver in 5 in the finals?
Yeah, yeah.
In the conference finals. Any other thoughts? Anything else you want to touch on as a Clippers fan? Any other Clippers thoughts you want to throw out there really quickly? Anything else that's been in your mind? Any questions you have about them?
No, not really. Maybe just give Bones more minutes. I feel like he's been so good this season. I feel like he's exactly what we want Westbrook to be, if that makes sense. Like,
totally. He's
on
a
offense
spark
at
plug.
least, because he's not a defender like Westbrook, but like he's a spark plug. He's a great passer, but he's not a passer in the way he's going to assist. Like he's not searching for assists, but he's just passing, like moving the ball. And he's a great like catch and shoot player as well. So yeah,
that's it.
He's everything that Westbrook isn't.
You need. He's everything you want Westbrook to be and everything Westbrook is not.
Yeah.
All at once. Well, we'll quickly chat about a couple other things that are happening in the NBA, because this is my first podcast I've really had a chance to talk about the start of the season, because I've had one podcast since the season started, but it was the season predictions and we ran out of time in the end to discuss anything but the predictions, really. A few things have happened since the season started. We've had a bit of time now, like a week and a half, to sort of get a feel for where teams are at, what's happening. And a couple things that have stood out to me. First of all, the Boston Celtics are really, really good. The Boston Celtics are. I had a couple doubts, but I knew their big six, so to speak. You know, the Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Horford, Porzingis, Derek White was going to be good. But they are just blowing every team out of the water when they play.
Yeah, was it 51 against the Pacers the other day?
I love the Pacers. Yeah. Without Tyrese Halliburton still, but yeah, they won by 51 the other day. They beat the Nets today by 12, 10, sorry. I didn't get to see any of the game today, but
that was actually a good game. That was one of the only games I really watched. But...
yeah, okay. 33 for Tatum, another 23 inefficiently for Brown though, but so, and that was without Derek White playing. And they're beating Brooklyn, who were fairly healthy, I think. Maybe no Ben Simmons was the only one. But yeah. Well, how are you going to make up for that 7, 5, and 8 score? I do love all like the Bleacher Report posts that are coming out with like, Ben Simmons is back. And they'll show this amazing dunk. And you look at his stats and he got like 6, 7, and 4 for the game.
Yeah,
or something.
6 and 6.
He gets like the ultimate Draymond stat line and they're like, Ben Simmons is back to himself. Like, he took 5 shots. Yeah, he is back to himself. He's back to the person that no one could trust to take a shot. Boston, they're looking really good though. That lineup, they are suffocating on defense. They are annihilating teams offensively. They can shoot the ball, they can drive, they can pass. They're doing everything at the moment. I'm really scared of playing Boston.
Yeah, I feel the main thing is Porzingis. Like, it's looking like he's back in New York again, because like I think New York actually helped him so much, because I feel like before, like, he usually was like shying away from like big like cities or whatever, because like in New York he was good, but he was not consistent at all. Like, he had like one good half of a season, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what everyone thought he was like his whole career was going to be, but then like he fell off a bit and now he's back, I reckon. Yeah.
He's looking really good, and I think he's the underrated piece of that team, because he's such a good shooter. He's playing good defense, and then throw him in a bench lineup and he can suddenly go up against some 6'8" backup center and dominate in the paint. Like, he's doing everything they needed him to be. I've been really impressed with Kristaps thus far. Holiday's fitting in fine. The Jays are looking fantastic. Tatum's looking exceptional to begin the season. Yeah. They're just a team where it's like, I really can't find a flaw. Outside of maybe a tiny bit.
Apart from maybe I don't trust Jason Tatum in a playoff series. I just don't.
The only issue will be, can the Jays be like, okay, if the Jays aren't good enough to lead your team to a finals, to a title, then they're not good enough. Yeah. But if they are, they've put the perfect team around them. That if the Jays are good enough, this is the team that you'd want around them, and they're going to win. And if they're not good enough, they're not going to win. But you can't blame the supporting cast at all. Like, unless there's injuries. But even like Sam Hauser's doing well, Peter Pritchard's okay. They're getting minutes out of Cornet. They're looking really dangerous. The in-season tournament, you discussed it before, started yesterday for us. We had the first full day of games. What are your thoughts on the in-season tournament, adding something like that to the league?
It's a bit hard to watch because of the disgusting courts, but like, I don't know, there was some good games and it was definitely competitive. Like the Warriors.
Teams are taking it seriously.
Yeah, the Warriors OKC game was pretty good. Yeah, like
Dude,
that felt like a playoff game.
I hope my boss never hears this. I was at work yesterday, and I timed my lunch break so that I could get the end of the Knicks-Bucks game and the end of the Warriors OKC game. So at the end of Knicks-Bucks, I'm like, sweet, swap over, throw on Warriors, Thunder. And then because of all the calls and stuff, there's like 2 minutes to go on my lunch out for it start. And I'm working at like a concierge desk. I'm like, no, stuff it, I don't care. I just took my phone and kept the game on and put it at the desk. I like underneath the computer playing while the customers are coming. And my coworker's there, she's like, you know you're going to get fired. Like if they see that, I'm like, I do not care. Yeah. This is the best game I've got. This is the best game of the season thus far. I'm not missing the end of it.
Yeah.
But he was... The teams are taking it really seriously. I didn't think there'd be this much behind, but like Steph played, I want to see exactly how many minutes. I feel like he played a ridiculous amount of minutes yesterday as well.
I mean, did it go to OT? I feel like it went to OT.
No, didn't end up going to OT.
It was just high
so he only played 31 minutes, but like he dropped 30. Those guys playing like 40 minutes and stuff yesterday though. Like teams are taking it seriously. They're treating it like more than just a regular season game. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting concept, the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, the courts are pretty tough though.
I don't know. Like I know I like the one game like elimination bit, but like I feel like it'd be better if it lasted a bit longer. You know what I mean? It's already going to finish in like a month. Like, and it's done. Like
there's not heaps of it. They're really good games, and it keeps a heap of interest in the season for me. Yeah. I think it's a really cool idea. I think they've nailed the aesthetic. They haven't nailed the courts. I feel like I'm playing in 2K, but
it's like a my team.
It's like a my team playing like when you
come against someone with like a black court and you just can't see anything.
You can't see any of your jerseys. Yeah. They're like got their jerseys the exact same as the court.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a really cool idea. I do like the idea. A lot of people floating yesterday the idea of the prize being like a guaranteed playoff spot and like actually bumping up the value of it a little bit.
I heard like Kendrick Perkins say like the MVP should get like a All NBA like just like.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
because I the one I heard was that it guarantees if you win the season tournament, you're guaranteed to go up a spot in the playoffs or in the postseason. So basically, like if you finish second if you win the title, win the tournament, win the cup, and then you finish second, you get bumped up to the top of the league. Top of this conference. If you finish third or fourth, you get knocked up to second. If you finish fifth or sixth, you get fourth. If you finish in the play-in, you get an automatic playoff spot. If you finish outside of the play-in, you get an automatic play-in spot. So it's like it's not a guaranteed playoff spot, but it's like whatever you do, you get
it bumps you up
one X. And I think that would actually be a really
regular season thing. So like surely it should go towards
value towards the regular season.
Postseason, yeah.
It was a really good idea, though. I loved the games. There was definitely buy-in. I think if they continue to push the incentives and the prizes, I think you could have some fantastic games. And suddenly, games in the middle of early December are going to be really fun to watch and really critical for the season. And I think that's great.
I feel like especially because it's one game, the matchups get like even more like exciting to watch because like it's one game, so you never know what's going to happen. Like
that's it. I do love the one game style. I do love the win or go home feeling.
Even if it's like Denver Rockets, you never know. Like Jalen Green could have a 70-point game. You never know. If
Jalen Green drops 50, suddenly the Rockets might win. And there's real value in them just being like, we're going to play our guys 42 minutes because if we win this, we could get a spot in the play-in tournament and we could do really good things. I think it's going to be an absolute win. I'm really excited. The Lakers, we have our first one on, it'll be Wednesday our time, I think. Or is it Tuesday our time? Oh, no, sorry, it's not till next week because there's the election, so they don't have the games. It'll be Saturday our time, and we're playing the Suns at 2 p.m. So that's going to be a fun game next Saturday. I need to make sure to watch that. It's going to be really good. I'm loving the tournament. We'll quickly touch on a couple other things. The Grizzlies are 0-6, I believe. At least at the time of making my notes. I think they're 0-6 still.
I did not expect that. I knew they were going to be bad, but like... 0-6, like people used to say, "Oh yeah, they're better without Jar."
Yeah.
How about now? Like what?
Yeah, it used to be the whole thing, like, "Oh, they don't need Jar." Dude, they need Jar. They're in dire straits without Jar. They're looking bad.
I think they could have Jar for like an MVP. I don't think he can win MVP. He can't win MVP now, can he?
No, I don't think he'll make the games limit.
Okay, I was gonna say like maybe he could help like a storyline. You know what I mean? Like started 0-6, he comes back
next year. It could be though. It could really help him next year. I think. I want to look up his stats. At least to start the season, they weren't great. Was Triple J? He was not looking good.
Yeah, I don't think he's shooting like the three.
He's
at
not
all.
hitting his
Like,
shots
not
at the
really
moment.
good.
He's bumped it up now. Now they're better. They're better now. 20 points per game, 46% from the field, 40% from three. So he's boosted that a bit. But
Yeah,
like
I thought Desmond Bain would have like a really good breakout season, almost like in trying to win them games. You know, like that's what I thought would happen. I know they'd be bad, but he would win them a lot of games. But
yeah,
like,
totally.
apparently not.
Now he's had 2 really good games, Triple J, then a couple really average games, and then one that's fine game.
Yeah,
Against Denver, they lost by 4. So thus far this season, I think this only has 5 of their games. So there's one more that they've lost, I think. Oh yeah, this is just the last 5, but they lost by 4 to Denver, 7 to Washington, 15 to Dallas, 14 to Utah, and 2 to Portland. That's the thing; they're not playing great teams. It's not like they've lost they lost to Dallas, who are looking amazing. They're 4-1. But they're losing.
And Kyrie hasn't been playing as well. Like.
No, that's just with Luka. But they're losing to Memphis. Oh, so they've lost to Portland and Utah. They've lost to Washington. They did lose to Denver. But that's not a great sign when those are the games you're losing. They lost to, and New Orleans was the other one. That's not teams you want to be. You'd want to be 3-3 right now if you're Memphis, not 0-6. Steven Adams is out. Obviously, that's sad for them. He's out for the year with a PCL. I think it was left PCL.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he would help, but I feel like he helped because of Ja. Like when he's playing with Ja,
he works well with Ja, but
thing.
he's not getting you 3 wins. He's not making 3 wins difference at this point. I did think of a trade. I think it works mathematically. Of Jared Allen because I love Cleveland. They are 2-4 though. They're not looking great. They've had injuries.
Yeah.
Garland's been injured, which has destroyed my fantasy because I picked him with my 3rd pick. Jared Allen's been injured, so they've had injuries. But I think Mobley, looking at Cleveland, I want to get Mobley back to playing center. I think he needs to be a center, and you need a floor spacer next to him, not Jared Allen. What do you think of Jared Allen to Memphis? He replaces Steven Adams there as a center. The Steven Adams contract and 2 picks to Washington, and Kyle Kuzma and a pick to Cleveland. So Cleveland get Kyle Kuzma that they can put next to Mobley, Mitchell, and Garland.
Yeah.
Memphis get Jared Allen for the Steven that they can put next to Triple J. He can fill the Steven Adams role. He can be rebounder. He can, a dunker, work in the pick and roll once he's back.
Yeah.
And Washington get picks for Kyle Kuzma, who they don't need anyways.
I definitely feel like obviously I reckon Grizzlies win that. Where was it? Mobley, you said? Yeah.
Jared Allen. So Allen goes to Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Allen goes to Grizzlies. Steven Adams goes to Washington. Just the contract, the dead money. And Kuzma goes to Cleveland for Allen. So Cleveland then get to run a lineup of Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Kyle Kuzma, Evan Mobley. That's the best shooting and defense and stuff they're going to have available to them.
Yeah, okay. Cavs definitely win that then, I thought it was Mobley going to the Grizzlies. But because Kuzma is definitely having
he's having a good
after
year.
The Lakers, he's definitely broken out a bit with the Wizards.
What's he been
I
like
think
this
he's having a terrible season this year, but
what's he up to this year? I think he's had a
especially Jordan Poole. Have you seen Jordan Poole? He's supposed to be averaging you should be averaging 25, 30. What is he doing?
Yeah.
He was walking around, turning around
that shot when he turned around and then took the 3 on Porzingis and got blocked. That's the worst highlight I've ever seen. He's doing okay, Kuzma, at the moment. He's averaging 22 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 48% from the field, 29% from 3, but that'll improve. I know he's a good shooter. He's going to shoot 33, 34%. But I feel like I don't know which team would say no to that. Because if you're Memphis, if Memphis want to win, they need to use the Steven Adams contract and replace him because they're going to need a proper center. And Jared Allen would be a perfect center that he can fit their timeline as well. And you could run Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart, Triple J, Jared Allen. And that's a good starting 5. Washington, they get picks for Kuzma. They get to move forward in their rebuild. They didn't really get any picks for Beal or Porzingis, so it would be good for them to get some picks. And if you're Cleveland, I think getting Kyle Kuzma to put at power forward, move Evan Mobley to center, I think he'd be a perfect like third offensive option next to Garland and Mitchell. He can space the floor for Mobley. He's still a decent rebounder. I feel like it'd be a fun trade. I'd like that trade. That was just me fantasizing the other day when I was bored. Final one we'll discuss is Wemby obviously decided to drop 38 points on KD's head. And when I say on KD's head, I actually mean on KD's head. Like, he made KD look like a 6'2" kid. And I saw a tweet where someone was like, I was stuck here thinking like, I got stuck here thinking like, man, why did the Phoenix move, like, put a big guy on Wemby? Why do they keep putting these, like, smaller guys? And then realize Kevin Durant's 7 foot and Wemby just makes them look like smaller guys. And, you can't actually put anyone bigger than Durant on Wemby.
But even if as if you don't put Bol on, like.
That was hilarious. Oh.
What Shaq said.
That was
people going overreacting about that, I reckon. I reckon it's not actually that bad.
I know what he meant. He didn't mean it the way it sounded. What he meant was true.
And I'm pretty sure his son, like, is it Sharif is like, he's best mates with Bol. So like,
I think what he meant was
he's some bias, I reckon. But
I think he was sort of like, he's like, people are freaking out at the theory of a Wembanyama where like, it's this 7'3" dude who's got guard skills. He's like, when Bol entered the league, we knew these guys were coming. I think what he meant was like, this is going to be the new norm that you got 7 foot guys that are dribbling and taking threes and switching on defense and stuff. Yeah. I don't think he was trying to say that Wemby is only as good as Bol. He's saying that they're the same prototype of player. Yeah. Wemby's just 10 times better than Bol.
Yeah, I think he's like kind of sick of just people going crazy over this, like acting like they've never seen Porzingis before. Like.
No, it's like Kristaps Porzingis. We've seen Durant himself is like, it's just the fact Wemby is 20 years, 7'4", which is just crazy that he's doing it. He's averaging this year 50% from the field, 32% from three, 73% from free throws, 20 points, 8 rebounds, an assist and a half, a steal and a half, 2.5 blocks. Wemby. Yeah. That is ridiculous for a rookie. Yeah. 6 games into his career, or 5 games into his career. They've won, and they're 3-2. They've won some tough games. They've beat Phoenix twice, got blown out by your Clippers, lost by 7 to Dallas, beat Houston in overtime. He's been so much better than I thought he was going to be. I've been blown away by Wemby.
I thought he'd be averaging like maybe 15 points. Like
I thought he'd be averaging like 15 points, and then like on like 28% from three, which he could easily go down to. Like it could drop down to, but he has looked so good thus far, Wemby. I'm really blown away by him. Yeah. Turns out this guy that's a 7'4" generational talent is good at basketball.
Not too bad.
What a surprise. What a shock horror.
Yeah.
True headlines there.
I think the main thing was like his physicality, like how he deal with that, but like
he's taken it fine.
I don't know if you've seen like in the pregame, like they've got like 2 of like their trainers just like pushing him like the whole time. Like
I've been really impressed with how good he is at like getting to his shot and stuff. Like he's not just settling. He's really looking for what he wants. He's getting offensive rebounds. He's getting putbacks. He's getting to the rim. I was concerned that he was going to settle for too many jumpers, but I haven't felt that at all. He's been really good. He hasn't just settled. Anything else you want to discuss about the start of the season? Any other teams or players?
I don't know who is running the Brooklyn Nets organization, but I don't think they watch basketball because Cam Thomas might be the best scorer I've ever seen in my life. And statistically, he is the best scorer.
Cam Thomas is the best starter of all time.
Yeah, he has the most points in the first 10 games of the season in NBA history, and he's not even starting. How does that make any sense?
He is averaging 25 points a game this season.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's something like it's a new thing. He's been doing this for like years.
He did it last year, and then they just benched him, and he does. And no, I'm just trying to look up quickly what his odds are for.
What, MVP?
No, for you probably can now. No, for most improved player of the year. I want to try and see what his odds are now.
He's got to be the favorite.
It's got to be the favorite at this point. Yeah. Jokic is now the favorite for MVP at $3.40, I think. Mm-hmm. Wemby's favorite for rookie of the year at like $1.75. Mobley defensive player of the year. Davis and Triple J are tied with him. That's interesting. Let's have a look. Most improved, no. Tyrese Maxey is still leading it.
Oh, yeah. He got like player of the week.
He's been really good. Scotty Barnes as well. He's been really good to start the year. He's second. And then Cade Cunningham's third and Cam Thomas is fourth. Cam Thomas should be third at least.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes, what's he doing? I just want to find the exact stats. He had 21 points a game, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 40% from 3.
So they're literally doing what Siakam's doing. Like,
yeah, he's jumped up. Like, his field goal percentage has jumped up by 7%. His 3-point percentage has jumped up by 11%. Early days, obviously. Free throws have jumped up 6%. He's averaging 3 more rebounds a game, an extra assist a game. Like, that's an incredible season for him.
Yeah.
If he can maintain that.
Scotty Barnes is a weird one because, like, although he has potential to be like, he's going to be like, might be most improved. He's not like, he doesn't have like a specialist or anything. He's not really amazing at anything. He's just like
he's just really good at what he does. He's good at, and I think that's kind of impressive. He's been really good though. Cam Thomas has been really good. Any other last minute things you want to discuss outside of Cam Thomas being, the next coming of Kobe Bryant?
Yeah,
he's like a T-Mac.
Yeah. I don't think I've got anything else now.
He dropped 30. He had 3 consecutive games of 30 points. That's ridiculous. He's insane.
I was watching the Celtics game today, or Nets game today. He did the weirdest move I've seen in my life. He did a step back and he like turned around and then he turned around again and then did a fadeaway. Like,
I'm gonna look that up.
He stepped back like he was about to pass it out, and then he just randomly switched midair to like shoot it.
That's so crazy. Man. Clutch Player of the Year, Dame is leading that at the moment. Do you want to quickly discuss Bucks are 3-2 and aren't looking that fantastic outside of that first game where they beat Philly?
Well, I think I said this last episode how like their championship like odds have gone down for me at least. Like because it's more experimental. And, like I knew what I was getting before, but like I didn't expect 3-2, but like I didn't expect. Yeah.
And it's not just that they're 3-2. It's like the losses have looked really bad, and the wins haven't looked convincing. They beat Philly, which is a great game. It hasn't worked thus far.
One where Dame had like 6 points or something.
That was. I don't understand how that happens.
The thing is, it's Giannis. Like he can shoot 10 shots a game. Like, he was second or third in score last year.
He's so good.
He's shooting 10 shots a game.
He's great. I just don't understand what's happening over there. They're 29th in defensive rating at the moment. That's really concerning. Losing Drew Holiday's had a big impact on that team, I think. I'm going to leave it there. I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. Any last minute thoughts on the Clippers? If you could describe the rest of the Clippers season in one word, what would it be? How are you feeling? What's one word to describe how you feel going into the rest? You're optimistic.
Just please.
Please?
Just please do something. Like
I like that.
It's so hard being a Clippers fan.
Man, it's not that much easier being the Lakers. We just lost to the Magic, by
you got like banners in your arena.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you have an arena. Like.
Just wait. You're going to have the most toilets of any team in the NBA.
Yeah.
You've got things to hold on to.
Yeah.
You've got the main wins.
Yeah.
You might not have the championships, but you've got the title for the most toilets in your.
You know how to spend a lot on a stadium. Yeah.
That's true. You know how to spend a lot on your team.
Yeah.
As well, actually. Your guys just know how to spend a lot.
Yeah.
Flynn, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming on and chatting Clippers again. I'm sure this won't be the last time I have you on this season to discuss the Clippers and what happens, whether it's Harden averaging 40 or Harden requesting a trade, and it could be both in the same week somehow. I saw a tweet as well that I want to end us off on, where he said, the 2 best days in this franchise's history is the day Harden requests a trade to them and the day Harden requests a trade away from them. And I'm like, that is so accurate, actually. And I don't know why it is, but it's happened like 4 times.
I'm just dreading the day when I see James Harden scoffing down Krispy Kreme donuts just to get out of the Clippers. Like,
he puts on the fat suit.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like,
he's going to say, actually, I want to be I've actually always had this dream to be a Utah Jazz. It's always been my lifelong dream to play next to Trae Young in Atlanta. Yeah. Oh, man. Could you imagine if he played with Trae Young? No one else would get a shot on that team.
Horrible fit.
Could you imagine how bored everyone else on the team would be? You literally wouldn't be allowed to dribble for the whole game. It'd be hilarious to witness. Flynn, thank you for joining. If you're listening to the podcast here on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please go check us out on YouTube at Protecting the Paint. If you're on YouTube and you're watching us right now, go check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts at the Fair Dunkem Podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the At Protecting the Paint is the handle. Go check us out there. Been posting over there a lot more recently, trying to get into that sort of stuff. I'm on Twitter at jlewisbball. Flynn, do you have any accounts you want to shout out?
Nah, I'm all good.
You're all good? No worries at all, mate. Enjoy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining. Enjoy that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander jersey. Keep it in mint condition because one day it might be like the most worth like 10 grand because you have like 3-time MVP that left your team along with 7 first-round picks. Thank you, mate. For everyone listening, thank you for joining us. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
See ya.